What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Cookie Run Kingdom video. Alright, today we're going to talk about PVE team building. I was hanging out in Codation's stream tonight, which I'll link it down below. His channel. Good friend of mine. Really awesome person. Check him out. The king of the cookie. And everybody was asking him, is my team good? Am I building the right team? So I thought it'd be a perfect time for me to make a PVE team building video and then a PvP team building video. This way I could showcase you guys what you should be building on your account in general, what you should be focusing on, all that great stuff. So with no further ado, let's get right into this one. I have now been back to Cookie Run Kingdom for about 4 days, and I am crushing the PvE content. I don't know if that's because I have almost a max latte and my espresso is max. I don't know if that has a lot to do with it. I think it does, because my general team build is just doing so much damage. The way I built it and kind of pictured it in my head when I was theory crafting it, I just wanted it to do as much damage as possible and then have a support unit to keep my damage dealers healed up. And the way I went about this, and even if I didn't have espresso or latte, I would have looked at it the exact same way. And this is how you guys should be looking at it too. When it comes to PvE content, you're really just trying to do as much damage as possible. When it comes to the bosses or any stage, it's always good to have massive AoE damage. Single target damage is good too. But when you have 3 units or 4 units that are just doing massive AoE damage, normally that's going to be enough for you to clear any stage. I think I'm up to campaign 9 or 10, and I'm just blowing through it, and I'm still not even close to stuck yet. Now that I have the base of my team, which is latte and espresso, because these two together, they just do so much massive AoE damage. And then dark cocoa on top of that with his AoE defense break. And then I have Malasauce Cookie, which is doing a burn and more AoE damage. And then I have Herb Cookie to back it up. Now the thing is, Herb Cookie used to be the meta. He's not the meta anymore. He actually fell way down. And when I say meta, I'm really referring to PvP content. Because a lot of times when you're doing your PvE content, you want to build cookies that are going to be good for you in the late game PvP content. At the end of the day, if you're playing Cookie for a long time, the only content that's really going to be there is PvP content. So of course, when you're building a PvE team, you do want to be realistic and build some cookies that will be good for you in the PvP side of things. Now, honestly, espresso and latte, they're not meta in PvP at all anymore, so I really won't get much use out of them in PvP content. But the way I see it, clearing PvP first is going to give me so many resources, soul stones, other copies of cookies, summons, and along the way, I'm going to pick up a ton of other epic cookies like I have already. I mean, if we scroll down, we can see I just got Shark Cookie. He's definitely the meta in PvP right now. But the fact that I don't have more copies of him and I can't star him up, and I don't want to waste my XP jellies on him. And that's another thing, guys. When you're building your first team, don't waste the XP jellies. Build as many XP buildings as you possibly can. Get them down, because that's going to allow you to really upgrade your team in general. No matter what content you're doing, those XP huts, I can't even tell you how important they are. Get them down, max them out. That should be the first thing you do every single time you upgrade your cookie castle, because that's just going to play hand in hand with the rest of the content that you're clearing in the game, especially when it comes to team building. So I have Parfait Cookie, which I pulled a few days ago, but you guys see that I'm using Herb Cookie currently, and that's because I had him leveled up. I have him 2-starred, and he's a level 40, and his power is maxed, or I should say his skill power is maxed up to level 40. So for now, he's just going to do a much better job than Parfait will do for me. Of course, I'm going to build her up on the side. And this brings me into the fact that in gacha games, they're always going to come out with something better. For example, Herb used to be the meta. Now Parfait is better than Herb. And then Pure Vanilla Cookie is the current meta in PvP. And I think Pure Vanilla Cookie is just the best healer in the game currently, period. So no matter what cookie you decide to build or go with, just know in the future there's always going to be a new meta or something better. The thing you have to ask yourself is what's going to help you the most in your current situation. And for me, looking at my account, Herb Cookie is definitely going to help me the most right now. And once I build up Parfait Cookie, I'll replace Herb with her. And then if I ever get Pure Vanilla, I'll do the same. But the thing is, to clear PvE content, you don't really need the end-all be-all. You don't need the meta. I'm sure I could use Custard Cookie, which is a rare cookie, and probably clear most of the PvE content, which she is here. And I have her level 34 because when the game first came out, they had like a mission on her where if you leveled her up and start her out, you got like all these awesome goodies. So I already have her leveled up. And the thing is, if I didn't have Herb Cookie, I'd probably use her over Parfait Cookie right now, because having a level 0 no-starred Parfait Cookie is just not going to do me any justice where I am in PvE content currently. So this is a perfect example of filling a space with a rare cookie or a cookie that's not as good as an epic cookie that you might get in the future. I'm not saying to dump all of your resources into these rare cookies, because eventually you are going to replace them. Every single rare cookie will be replaced over time. That's just the way gacha games are. And I think there's only 1 or 2 cookies that are used now in the current PvP meta. One of them, I think, is the base cookie or the starter cookie. Let me find him. Ginger Brave. He's used in high-end PvP content, which we'll get into in my next video. But outside of that, most of these rare cookies are just never going to be used long-term, but you could definitely use them to fill a space in your current team or your current lineup. For example, if I didn't have Herb Cookie, I would definitely be using Custard Cookie until I pulled something better. Now, for the rest of the team and building this, I pulled Mallow Sauce Cookie. I got super lucky. I don't even know. I think I did like 40 or 50 summons. She has been a guardian angel for me when it comes to PvE content. At first, I didn't think she was that great, but the more I use her and pairing her with Latte and Expresso, she's just been crushing everything. Now, I have her ruined kind of weird. I do have her on an HP set and an attack set. And the reason I have this is because she's in my front line. She does do nice damage, but at the same time, I want her to take damage because she's in my front line. And at the end of the day, my main damage dealers are Latte and Expresso. So I want them to stay alive as long as possible. So I definitely want Mallow Sauce to have some tankiness to her. This way she can protect my Latte and my Expresso. That's kind of the way I looked at it when I was building my team. And then I also have another frontline unit, which is Dark Cookie. And he does an AoE defense break. Again, I have him ruined kind of weird, I think. I think I want to put him on attack set or maybe a cooldown and attack speed sets. For now, I just wanted him to be as tanky as possible, again, because I'm just trying to protect my two main damage dealers. I'm not using Dark Cookie at all to dish out damage. I'm not worried about the damage he puts out. I'm worried about him taking damage and giving a defense break. Other than that, that's the only reason he's in the team, is the defense break the enemy, so my Latte and Expresso can go in there and deal some more extra heavy damage. Because Latte is able to silence the enemy, Expresso is just coming in there, bringing all the units together, doing massive damage, and then Mallow Sauce comes in and slaps them with an AoE burn and just more AoE damage. And she also buffs the crit rate on my Latte and Expresso, which really helps out a lot. I think that's one of the main reasons I'm really loving my Mallow Sauce Cookie, because she just does so much between her damage. She can take damage, she can dish damage, and she also gives a crit buff to my other damage dealers. She's just been a great fit in my team. Before I pulled Mallow Sauce, I was using Vampire Cookie, and that was working, but it wasn't working nearly as good as this current team is. And then in my backline, we have Herb Cookie. He's going to get replaced really soon, but for now he does just fine. He's going to be my healer, so I have him on a cooldown set, and I also have him on an attack set because all the healers in this game are based off attack. Well, all the heals in this game are based off attack. I'm definitely going to get my Parfait Cookie up as soon as I can so I can take my man Herb out of the team. I was very sad when I came back and learned that Herb wasn't the meta anymore. I used to love my Herb Cookie. Now, I have a ton of other options going down. And again, everything's going to be different because we have the Guild Boss now. Guild Boss has a Pacific team, which is with Mushroom. I'll get into that in another video. I want to really keep this towards just PvE, the adventures, the campaign grinding, or getting through that stuff so you guys can collect all your free gems and get your account up and running. But the one thing to take away from this is when you're building your first team, don't be scared to use rare cookies. You will definitely 100% replace them in the future, but there is nothing wrong with you filling that spot. So if you need a healer, you come down here, look at your rare cookies, see which one does the job of Herb or Parfait or the closest job to it, and then insert that cookie into your team until you get the epic or ancient legendary cookie that you're looking for. That's what I was doing with Custard Cookie when I first started playing the game. I was using Custard as my Herb. Once I pulled Herb, obviously I took Custard out and then started using Herb Cookie. And that works the same for all of these cookies, guys. Whether it's a frontline cookie, a ranged cookie, a bomber cookie. Just look, for example, we have Mushroom Cookie, which is a bomber. If you don't have a bombing mushroom cookie and you want one for Guild Boss, you could scroll down, use this bombing cookie, which is Gumball Cookie. That is the best way to go about building a team. When it comes to PvE content, the one thing I noticed is more damage, the better. You're not really trying to sustain too much. There is some situations and some stages where it is better to sustain, but in most cases, you're just trying to do as much damage as possible. That is going to allow you to blow through the PvE content. Latte and Expresso, they might not be endgame meta anymore, but I promise you guys, they are still meta when it comes to PvE content. If you have a Latte and Expresso on your account, you will breeze through the PvE content, no problem. It won't be any issues for you. And don't feel like it's wrong to invest into 2 magic cookies or into 2 AoE damage dealers, because them paired together, they're going to do massive damage. So for example, if I only have Expresso Cookie and I don't have Latte Cookie, that's going to be less AoE damage. So investing in both of them is fine because their overall damage together, the combo that they do together is just absolutely insane. And then throwing a Mallow Sauce Cookie and another AoE damage dealer in there is just going to make your overall progression so much faster. Meta will always change when it comes to PvP content, but as far as PvE content goes, the meta is pretty solid, and I would say AoE damage dealers is definitely the way to go. At least it's working for me. So this is what the team looks like before we go into battle. We got 2 frontline units, we got 2 middle units, and 1 rear unit. Now, as far as the 2 front units go, you can change this around. You can have another damage dealer like an ambush unit in the back line like Vampire or even Riot Cookie. Something like that. You don't need to have 2 front units. I just like this style because it protects my latte and my espresso. But if you don't have latte and espresso or you only have one of them, you might be better off dropping Mallosauce or Dark Cookie for another sturdy damage dealer like Vampire Cookie. I was using Vampire Cookie until I pulled Mallosauce Cookie, and he was doing just fine in this lineup. As far as my treasures go, I kind of just autoed them up. I do like the Revive one, and I do have it at level 3. Most of the time I use crit rate, crit damage, or attack. I don't really use these. I mostly change them around as I go. I do like this Burning Circle, and the reason I like it is because, again, my Expresso pulls all the units together. Latte does a circle of damage, and then that also does a circle of damage. So I'm just really trying to just put as much AoE damage on the enemy as possible. And when you find a steady team like this, invest in it. Don't go too crazy investing in other cookies until you're ready to. That's the best advice I can give you. You don't need to max out all the cookies and build all over the place. Get your current team steady, get it up and running, and then just stick with that and make changes as needed when you start pulling ancient or legendary cookies or just stuff to fill those positions. This team will probably carry me all the way through the end of PvE content. And then once I get to PvP, I'll start building the current meta that it is in PvP. When it comes to ruining your PvE content, honestly, I would just go with mostly attack sets, cooldown sets, and attack speed sets. You could even throw a crit rate set on there. I do sometimes like to put HP sets on my charge units because they are taking, the blunt of the damage at first. So that's the reason my Dark Cocoa Cookie is in HP and defense, because I know that he's just going to be taking a ton of damage. But at the same time, I don't care about his damage. I don't care if he's doing damage. I only care about his defense break and him protecting my latte and espresso. But everything else on my team is going to be in attack sets because I want them doing as much damage as possible. Mallosauce is in the front line. She is a charge unit, so I do want to have some stability on her, hence the HP set. And then latte and espresso, they're going to be an attack crit rate. I'm going to put espresso and latte in all attack sets very, very soon. I just don't have enough attack toppings currently at the moment. I think for PvE, you could really get away with all attack sets except for your frontline unit. You do want him to be a little bit beefy. This way he could take the damage for the rest of your team. I'll show you guys real quick how far I've gotten in the story. And I believe when I got back, I was only on chapter 4 or story 4. And now we're on episode 9. And I believe on the dark, I just started doing it. I wanted to do as much of the regular as I could first. So we're on stage 9 for regular and stage 7 for dark. And my team is still going strong. If you guys have any questions or anything to add to this, please comment down below and let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I hope this video helps you guys in building your PvE team and progressing into PvP content. My next video will be on the PvP side of things. I have some awesome stuff to show you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support here on YouTube. We're so close to 4,000 subs. Once we reach it, we will start another sub celebration. If you want to follow me on Twitch and Discord, those are always linked down below. 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, random giveaways on Twitch. If you want to be part of the random giveaway that we do here on YouTube, all you do is sub to the channel, like, and comment on my past 10 videos, and that will automatically enter you to the random giveaway. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.